Welcome back, everybody, to the Point Three podcast. Thank you for joining us for this video. Funko Lou, Hero Skrull, talking about some of the Secret Invasion fallout, specifically spoiler alert if you haven't seen Secret Invasion. If you haven't yet, pause the video, go watch back some of our previous episode discussions, and then come back to this after you've seen the finale, and then let's talk about it. But the fallout of Rhodey being a Skrull for as long as he has, we've had about 5-ish days to kind of come to grips with that fact, concrete. Lou, how has that been settling in for you? What have you been thinking about?
Man, I had an initial thought, right? How far back could it go? And then we saw the gown, we saw the weak legs, weak knees, whatever it may be. And kind of calling back to Civil War, it's been a while. And I went through a lot of emotions, right? Thinking of like, oh my gosh, what is fan backlash going to be on this? Am I okay with it? What's going to happen? What is Rhodey's response going to be? We didn't get anything during that episode. At the end, it really was just, Everett Ross looking at me like Colonel Rhodes, and that acknowledgement of him. And he's just like, oh. I am okay with how they did it in Secret Invasion. I am okay that they did not give us any additional context after the reveal, whether it's about Rhodey and how he feels and where he's at. But I also like that they didn't give us any clarification on the Skrull, Rava, or why she was the way that she was as Rhodey during the end of Civil War on through Infinity War and Endgame. I'm okay with it, and I ultimately think, and I know we've mentioned this to each other and maybe even in the last podcast, I think this sets up Rhodey to finally get a chance to feel like an A character and ultimately give us something very interesting that kind of has been missing since Endgame, especially from a robotics, nanotech suit, firepower. Like, I know Ironheart did her thing and we had Wakanda forever, but man, I truthfully think the sky is the limit here in the future for Rhodey.
Yeah, I agree on that 100%. They took the one character that has always been in the background of everything important, right? Because since Age of Ultron, he's been there, a key supporting character, and they made you really be like, okay, well, he's been replaced. He's missed major events, right? He's missed the battle for Earth. If it is, the director basically all but confirmed, they're still not 100% quote unquote confirmation, but it's basically stated it's since Civil War. I know some people are like, oh no, it's been since Endgame. I don't think so, but he's missed Battle for Earth. He's missed Tony's death. He's missed Sam Wilson becoming Cap, the man who, in his eyes, maybe he could see as the man who injured him. There's so many things that they can play with, and I'm very excited. I'm very excited because, like you said, they are making that B character the A character, which is something they've been doing within the MCU. They did it in Guardians of the Galaxy, kind of, where even though Rocket is still an A character, within the Guardians, he felt like the B. He felt second, right?
Yeah, agree.
Let's be honest. He was number 2 in a lot of people's eyes. Star-Lord was always number 1, and then in this movie, and they're like, no, he is the one. I feel like they're doing the same thing with Rhodey.
No, you crushed that. That's the two things I look forward to most. You're going to get new kind of emotional reunions, and then you're going to get new character dynamics. And I think there's some really interesting things. I don't think it's interesting if Rhodey was a Skrull after Endgame. What does that do? That's not going to give you the potential to look into past stories. Think of Endgame. You go back in time and you get a different point of view at some of these key things that happened. Morag in 2014, you go all the way back to 2011 or 2012 Battle of New York. Like, you can revisit what we love and get a different point of view at it through a different character's eyes. But you're now going to, Rhodey can be a way to bridge the gap between, we love this, we don't really understand this, and then here comes Rhodey and he's like, this is what I thought it was. Like, this is my MCU. This is what I remember. I remember the golden years of the MCU. And now I'm showing up in this phase where I have no clue where we're going. I don't know what's going on. I couldn't tell you what's going to happen next. Who's Kang? We don't know who Kang is. We're going to figure out who Kang is. Well, what do you mean Thanos is what? Oh, this is what Thanos did. Here we go. This is all the effects that he had. You're telling me Tony's gone? Grief, loss, guilt, all of these things. What does he do with all that moving forward? That is extremely exciting. And you can use Rhodey to tell so many more complex stories and give different point of views and add dimension to the MCU that's missing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Because again, and if you think about it, the biggest thing he's dealt with in the mainstream is basically what, Civil War, him battling with his friends. And even though he sided with Iron Man, Cap was still his friend. Yep. So now not only is Iron Man gone, Cap's gone.
Yep. And
again, if they go down the route of him blaming Falcon at the time, being the man who injured him, how is that going to affect his relationship with him? Where if he becomes Iron Man and Sam is Cap, how does that Iron Man and Cap duo kind of meld together?
Right. Think about it. Everyone that he kind of suited up with and became an Avenger with is really gone.
Yeah.
Or they're very different. Even Vision's not Vision. Black Widow is gone. Hawkeye is pretty much out. Hulk is just chilling, and Hulk has a whole new thing. He's going to be like, wait a second, you're telling me that not only can you talk to me in this form and no one's putting you to sleep with a lullaby, you have a son and you have a cousin who's just as powerful as you. And oh, by the way, there's someone flying around in the universe or on Earth who has your powers as well. Like, yo, what have you been doing? It's a mess.
Yeah. Thor, Rocket, all these people that he thought that know or thought they knew him.
Black Panther.
He's had no interact. He's not even gonna know what. No, he would. He would know because of Civil War, Wakanda, and all that. So he just wouldn't know to what. He just wouldn't know to what extent. So again, they have the possibility to really play around with it, because again, we kind of talked about this off screen where people were upset that it was him. And the question you kind of have to ask then, okay, well, Secret Invasion did need a character to be revealed as a Skrull.
Correct.
Who do you pick? If not Rhodey. There's no one else that kind of fits that mold well enough to where you can ride that line of playing both the past and then the future of the MCU.
Sure.
Other than what? Ant-Man maybe, Hawkeye maybe, but they're not going to do that because again, Hawkeye already had his own show, and it would not make sense, and then Ant-Man would also not make sense. So,
no. I mean, even if you went the Falcon route, but I think that's a very simplistic way, and they already touched on that in Secret Invasion. Someone's infiltrated the government. How far does the rabbit hole go? Kind of thing. I will say, I think something that's very interesting, and for me, I'm very interested in why the Skrull that replaced Rhodey did what she did in terms of interactions with Tony, interactions with the Avengers, protecting Wakanda. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities that Rava could have forged bonds with these people. I think they showcased that in Secret Invasion. Like, the Skrulls kind of bounced back and forth in terms of like who they were helping, their willingness to help. Gravik helped Fury. Talos helped him for as long as Talos could. Priscilla, Vara, like, they're not unopposed. But at the same time, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that Vara could have grown to really love these people as kind of teammates and allies. And this could be something that she missed, and maybe they'll fill that in. But I'm very curious to see when it comes to Armor Wars, which on assumption that would kind of be the next time we would see Rhodey, right?
If they don't sneak him into anything else, yeah.
Yeah, if they don't sneak him into anything else, I think it'd be smart. But you kind of have that again. Do I take up the mantle of being Iron Man, truthfully becoming Iron Man, or taking up arms and I'm going to be the most BA war machine I could possibly be? But when it comes to Armor Wars, and you kind of look at the storylines that have existed in different formats, did Stark's nanotech, think about it, not just like his armor, right, from Iron Man 1 or 2 or 3 or Mark whatever up to 42, whatever it might be, the nanotech falling
Mark
into
50.
the wrong hands is a big deal.
Oh yeah,
like a massive deal. And if the Skrulls mess with it, maybe the Skrulls stole it, maybe they sold it, maybe it's just up for grabs, whatever it might be, somebody's got to stop, right? Someone has to stop whoever has this. Could be a D-list villain or character, but I would love to see Rhodey go on a mission to protect what Tony has built, but also at the same time dealing with all of these emotions and ultimately, have you seen Cyberpunk Edge Runners by chance?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what I want from Rhodey. I want him to go through, use the nanotech, use the prosthetics, and continuously upgrade himself to deal with the pain of everything that he's missed. And that's kind of like his addiction and his drug. And he just cyborgs out.
That'd be cool. And honestly, though, those themes also tie back into what Iron Man was and is as a character. Because if you think about it, what Tony was in Iron Man 1, someone who built these things for weapons that he thought were good that fell into the wrong hands. Mm-hmm. And Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3 played into all of that. Them using Rhodey as that, they allowed the Iron Man story to continue on without Tony. It just goes through a different lens now.
Yeah.
Where it's someone from, instead of it being told from Tony's perspective outward and how it affected those people, it is now someone who was affected by Tony now looking at what that's done.
Right.
In a world where he hasn't been there all the way.
Yeah. It's like a smaller scale of like when Cap wakes up out of the ice. He's like, things have changed. I mean, obviously cell phones are gonna be cell phones. Fine, you can pick it up and figure it out. But like the world is not the same as he knew.
He's missed what, like technically 7-ish years?
I think so, yeah. Yeah. That'd be about right.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
And you figure there's Morgan Stark and Riri Williams that are floating around here. And does he step in and become kind of a mentor / father figure? And like those are the two or one of them or the people who ground him into being like, this isn't who you are. And you have to find that balance of Rhodey's character of like, I'm going to stop everyone at all costs, but at what cost? And if it's the cost of my life, then so be it. Like, that's tough. That's tough, but that's something I'm interested in. You don't get that if he's a Skrull after Endgame.
No. Mm-mm. And again, there's no better person other than Rhodey to honestly be revealed as a Skrull. No superhero, right? Because again, no other makes sense. And he's the one that can fit that mold to play what they need to as a future piece of the MCU.
Yeah. One quick question for you. What is one feat that you really want to see, kind of that moment where it's like, wow, this is where they spent their budget? What epicness do you want to see Rhodey have?
I've thought about this before. And I'm so glad you brought that up. Do this with the War Machine armor, but ramp it up to like 15 million. Do a combination of the scene in Iron Man 1 when he breaks out of the camp. And then when he goes back to that town and he's destroying the tanks and, kicking all those guys' butt with the tech, take those two things, mesh it together, make it War Machine, ramp it up to 3 million. Ooh. That's what I want. Like, give me all the explosions. And I know some people make fun of that, but Michael Bay it.
Oh my God.
Michael Bay that. because that fits War Machine perfectly. Heck, if they want to give the ultimate fan service, give him a proton cannon from Marvel vs. Capcom.
Oh my!
Just have him be like,
level the mountain.
yeah, yes.
That's
what I want.
Dude, if they opened, let's just say they opened Armor Wars up that way, and it's Rhodey unhinged, and we have to fill in backstory. You know, they'll go through and do some kind of like, you know, do your cuts, right? Do your edits that way. But we just show him like on the trail for this nanotech or Stark armor or technology or whatever it might be, and this man is ruthless. No prisoners, no nothing. He is just literally a war machine. 1v all.
Damn, dude, it'd be sick. Did we just make Armor Wars from Marvel?
Yes.
I think
We now have another deal from Marvel. Oh wait, we count as we're taking jobs now, man. We're taking jobs now.
I was about to say we gotta wait until after the strike,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Pay them first. Pay those people that actually matter. Not two guys on the internet.
Yeah, no.
Pay the actual writers and the actors first. What they're due.
Yeah.
After that, we will take a very, very like small cut, the smallest cut for the idea.
Just give me a cut of the red carpet. I'm fine.
Yeah, invite me to the red carpet.
That's it.
Yeah, allow us to interview Don Cheadle, please.
Ooh,
that'd be cool.
Man, I would actually be really, really, really curious of the insight between the conversation him and Kevin Feige had before making this decision to make Rhodey the Skrull. I would love to be a fly on the wall or be in that room.
And there was that cool little interview with the director of Secret Invasion where he kind of talks about how down he was to do this, for like how game he was. So yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, knowing that they're both on board with this, it's got to be a good decision. It's got to be a good decision.
And again, we've talked about this in previous podcasts. It felt such out of left field when they first announced it. Like, why would you make Armor Wars a movie now?
Yeah.
Why would you do that? That's not something we really care for. Let's be honest. At the time, we didn't. Yeah. But now they've made it really interesting, and I'm very excited to see where it goes. And the fact that it's a movie now, I'm happy.
A+. Well, listen, let us know what you think. Are you for the whole Rhodey Skrull reveal? When do you think he should have been a Skrull or replaced? Let us know your thoughts. Sound off in the comments below. Check out Point 3 Podcast on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Threads. Oh, shameless plug there. But also come back here next week. What? 8:30? Maybe we'll be doing a live.
Maybe.
Stay tuned, but you know where you can find out. Point 3 Podcast, TikTok, Instagram. But all of you, we appreciate you. Keep reading, keep watching, keep nerding out. We'll see you in the next one.